When people commission artists to draw for them, they will usually request their favorite video game character, an original character they made, or a random crack ship that nobody is willing to draw unless they get paid very well. But today, we are gonna do it differently. I'm going to try to get paid to turn people's characters into shapes. That's right, shapes. Why, you ask? Well, let's start at the beginning. One day I was mindlessly scrolling this forsaken hell site called twitter.com when I came across something curious. An artist going by Oz wrote, "Someone commissioned me to draw bread for $3, with a drawing of just bread attached." Can you guess how many likes this tweet got? That's right, 170,000. But it gets even better. People kept DMing us to commission them with random things like a stickman in exchange for a dog picture, or a square for £5, and many others. So I did what any sensible person would do, make a video about it. Essentially, I wanted to open commissions for random things like Oz, but put my own personal spin on it. The idea was to draw simple shapes based on whatever character people sent in, like the prototype I'm making based off of my own character right here. But enough talk, let's look at how I went about this. The first thing I had to do was set up some way for people to commission me as well as a description, so they knew what the hell they were getting into. I made a new commission type on my VGen page called Random Commissions, which is very inconspicuous, I know. I added a description where I state what I will draw and for how much, then I wrote up a short TOS and a request form, and then we were ready to go. Surely thousands of people would come and commission me to draw a random shape for them, right? Well, not exactly. My first customer was my friend Leo, who I paid €5 to commission me for €3. I know how business works. Her shape is a heart with another little shape in the middle to look like a snout, though it has been called an ass and a mustache before. But after this test round, I was ready to actually open the commission gates and start working on this stupid project. Some of my friends were very hyped to throw $3 at me, and so I opened comms early only for them. Swati, this stinky little fish, was the first to commission me. I went with a circle to resemble her glasses and added the flower that she already had on her character. I originally wanted to do something with a scale pattern as well, but I already went a lot more into detail with this one than I probably should have for $3. And those $3 are technically more like 2.5 over VGen, because they take fees, which is understandable, but man, it is unsatisfying to see your already measly $3 be reduced to even less. That said, I reminded myself I'm not doing this for the money, and so I moved on. 2 more of my friends slid into my DMs to become shapes, and one of them sent me this very interesting reference. I did not know what to do with that, so I asked them for their favorite colors, which are dark green and ginger brown, and went with that. They also mentioned they love the shiny metal parts I did on some of the other shapes, so the brown they requested turned into more of a polished copper. For my other friend, I went off of the knowledge that he always uses orange, yellow, and blue in his artworks. The square shape was just intuition. And, well, the red star is, if you know, you know. I gradually gained more confidence because things went pretty well so far, and what could possibly go wrong? Foreshadowing? The next person is an insane art commissioner, so they sent me several reference pictures. 7 to be exact. And they wanted to send me even more, but I reassured them that I would not need more than these. I basically chose a rectangular frame to resemble their glass frames and went with purple for the main color. I put some broken glass in the middle because I know they are edgy and would appreciate this feature. And then I also put some shiny silver stars on the frame, since stars were a common theme in the references. And that was the last of the private/Discord commissions, and so on Monday evening I felt it was time to open my amazing random shape commissions to the public. First of all, I changed my prices and increased them by €1 because I had gained new skills and could provide at least €1 more of quality for the buyers. I wrote up my Twitter post, sent it out, and waited. And it didn't do insanely well. What a surprise. So that's where the doubts came flooding in. Did people not share my enthusiasm of random shapes? Could they really resist the incredible price of €4? Man, I thought this would work better. Does anyone even care about this? I need to get at least a handful to make the video work. What if people already weren't interested in the commissions? Would they even care about the video? The next morning, I did what every mindfulness yoga guru tells you not to do. I checked my phone right after waking up. There were a lot of notifications. So, I just woke up. I did not expect to come back to having 3 Twitter DMs and then also this. What? I did not expect this at all, but you know what? We're vibing. I kind of expected this to fail. I kind of expected like one person to want this and then I was gonna be done, but you know what? People want these commissions apparently, so I'm gonna do them. I didn't work on the new shape commissions immediately because I had to approve them first and wait for the money to be sent in, so I worked on the winner artwork for my design raffle. A video or short on that should be coming in a week or 2 if you're interested. Finally, I got back to the shapes, and this time they were real commissions sent in by people that I wasn't friends with. The stakes were high. After all, I didn't want anyone to complain about their €4 commissions not being worth it. Alright, the next character was pretty easy to turn into a shape since they have a nice coherent color scheme and star shapes present in their design. I basically went with a golden star frame and made the inside kind of look like patchwork fabric inspired by their clothing. Then I worked on one of the Twitter commissions, and boy, I sure do love their design. They have a lot of golden embellishments on their character, and that sparked an idea in my mind for a more abstract shape that could almost be a piece of jewelry. I wanted it to look sharp and stabby because the character just has that kind of vibe. And then I also added a little turquoise jewel in the middle of the red part, just because I felt like it was lacking a little something. The next commissioner is Smokey, who you can all thank because he is literally half the reason my model rigging turned out so well. Whenever I was stuck on something I didn't know how to do, I went crying to him and he was basically like, "Worry not, sweet child, I will show you exactly how it's done, step by step." Literally one of the most helpful people ever. His character is literally a monkey, so I made him into a banana because that makes sense. At that point, I started to have some interesting ideas for future commissions, but I won't share that with you just yet. But if you guys are interested in my commissions, whether they're random shapes or normal art commissions like these, I'd recommend joining my Discord or following me on Twitter. Back to the shapes. I actually got so many commission requests that I decided to stream some of these here on YouTube. So these were done live. Bet you can't accuse me of being an AI now, can you? I will say though that doing these on stream took me a lot longer than it would have otherwise. It literally took me 3 hours to draw 4 shapes that otherwise would have taken me 15 minutes each. But alas, that is the nature of streaming art. I'm not just there to work, I'm also there to talk to chat and joke around. I mean, that's almost right, I guess.
Was not ready for the stomach window. Oh yeah. It does things to me sometimes. We keep this PG here. Is it even called PG? Personal gamer?
Personal gamer?
I don't know.
Oh my god, Leo, you're my personal gamer.
Yeah, you said you're PG, so like, you're personal gamer? I don't know.
During the stream, I made one of my favorite shapes up to this point. It's the silver moon one with a red glittery middle. This one looks so satisfying to me, I literally want to eat it. Leo also said it looks kind of like a makeup lip gloss palette, which is such a vibe. The next 2 shapes were commissioned by the same person. They essentially sent me a Google Drive folder with their OCs and wanted me to pick 2 of them to turn into shapes. I picked this OC and we ended up deciding the other one together with chat. Okay guys, do you want pink crazy straitjacket girl or do you want little baby witch girl? Vote in the chat. Tie. Yeah, it's tied. You guys have to find out who hasn't voted yet and bribe them. Renee chose pink. Oh my god, we're going for pink. We're going for pink crazy girl. Okay, goodbye little witch girl. You're very cute, but we are not looking at you anymore. Both of the shapes turned out very cool, but I personally prefer the circle one more. I think it might even be one of my favorites. The way the gold fits together with the white and black, and then this crystal in the middle, I don't know, but it just works. Okay, but holy shit, I was ready to end the stream after I was done with that one. I don't know about you guys, but I can't sit in chairs comfortably for very long, especially if I'm drawing. After that, I basically collapsed into bed and made sure all of the drawings got sent out. I think that is the point I turned on the waitlist on the shape commissions, because I still had plenty to go through, and I also had some other things planned for the week. On the morning of day 3, I had a bit of a headache and didn't get back to the commissions right away. I did one of the Twitter commissions and 2 VGen ones, trying to balance it out by who paid first, though in the end, getting your commissions a day or a couple hours earlier doesn't really matter much. For the square one, I really wanted to bring out the glittery skirt of the character, because the glitter on these shapes looks so satisfying, especially on royal looking colors like this dark blue or the red. The next 2 were both heavily based on the character designs. The butterfly wing one literally had butterflies in their design, and I essentially just used the same colors their design has overall in the different parts of the wing. For the heart one, I also went with shapes that were already in the design, namely the golden heart itself and the pink bows. Sometimes you don't have to make things complicated to make them look nice. Especially when we're talking about something as elementary as depicting a character as a single shape that was commissioned for €4. All in all, these 2 turned out pretty cute. The next shapes I worked on while I chilled in VC with my friends, as the repetition of drawing shapes over and over slowly chipped away at my sanity. This character has a very saturated color palette, which I don't often use myself, so I had to think about how to make it work. I went for a pixel art style circle with some gems in the middle that reflected the bright pink and green of the original design, and balanced it out by making the metal around it fairly dark and not too shiny. For the shark character design, I used a dark shade of blue for the metal, another dark but saturated blue for the main part of the fin, and a bright turquoise for the patterns on the tail, inspired by the turquoise highlights on the character's outfit. Next up are 2 characters who belong to the same person. I actually didn't realize another client had commissioned 2 shapes, but luckily I noticed that they sent in 2 characters and reread their message before I started working on it. I think at this point I was already getting pretty exhausted from drawing so many shapes within just 3 days. And you also have to keep in mind that I'm not just drawing these shapes, I'm also communicating with my clients, exporting the files, and struggling in my Twitter DMs because for some reason it hates when I send links. Me having the idea. Wow, this is such a great idea. I'm gonna have so much fun and draw so many cool things, and then I can make an epic video and it'll be me 26 hours into the project. Why did I think this was a good idea? I finally accepted the fact that it was time to close off my waitlist, who already had around 3 more people on them, or I would be drawing shapes for the rest of my life. However, I made the fatal mistake of announcing the closing waitlist twice, and I think I ended up with 8 people in total on my waitlist. Like, damn, people really wanted to be turned into shapes, huh? So yeah, the shapes you see me working on day 4 were the last of the open comms and the first of the waitlist shapes. That day I felt really exhausted, so I was glad there were only so many more to go through until the end. I decided not to message all the waitlist people at once to force myself to slow down a bit. After all, I technically had 2 whole weeks to deliver the final products, and I also had to document my process in this script that I'm reading to you right now. Also, for some reason, there were a lot more circle shapes towards the end. Maybe it was just the exhaustion leeching away at my creativity, so I simply went, "You're a circle, Harry!" I did still want to make sure that the simple shape ones had some defining characteristics, so they wouldn't look bland. Like the metal studs and the broken glass, for example. On day 5, I only worked on 2 shapes because I was busy most of the day, and in the evening we watched the Mario movie. Honestly, the story wasn't super interesting, but I did not expect to go out of it chipping Donkey Kong x Mario, and neither did my friends. Anyways, we are here for the shapes and not for the crack ships. At least that's what I assumed. So, we got an edgy triangle shape for an epic edgy character, and then a more floral shape for a cool person who I actually made art for before. I think pink, blue, and white make a really nice color scheme, and it works so well with the petals too. Alright, day 6. That day I also didn't work on that many shapes, but this time it was because all the people who are left after these hadn't paid yet. Which I wasn't mad about at all, because that meant I could take a breather and open Genshin again after 45 years. Hat guy best character, by the way. The first shape I had to really think about in the beginning, because the character here didn't have a shape in their design that default stood out to me, and I didn't just want to make another circle. I did figure it out though, kind of basing the shape on those pocket flaps on their pants, with some purple gradients to reflect their design. Next up we have a really cute moth bunny character, and I decided to go the obvious route and do another wing. I also wanted to implement some of the heart patterns that seem to be an important feature of this character. And the last shape for day 6 is a very rigid geometrical form with a diamond shape theme going on. This was mostly based on the fact that the character has mechanical arms. And then of course the green, blue and black color scheme. After that I sent some reminders to the people on VGen who hadn't paid yet. 3 of them got back to me, and so their shapes were next. I could practically smell freedom after being enslaved in the cellar by shape art for a week. I went with another heart shape because it's in the character design, but this time I decided to go with a broken heart or split in the middle kind of vibe, since their character sheet implied that they had 2 different sides to them with slightly different aesthetics, one of them being very dark and the other being more playful and holographic. The second one is somewhat of an obvious combo of 2 themes that already existed in their character design as well. They're known as Mango Puppy, and as you would expect, they have mango patterns going on. And they also have paws on the soles of their shoes, so I thought, why not just combine the 2? I also added these little swirls reminiscent of the ones on the paw onto the mango shape and the toe beans, just because I thought it was cute. And the last shape is one I was actually looking forward to back when I checked out the refs they attached, before I even accepted the commission. For this one I went with a wing, but this time a bat-like one. I went back and forth with the colors a bit, but settled on a white metal outline with the wing being black and red, as well as some fun gems in all 3 colors surrounding the wing. And that's all the shapes for now. I am finally free. I'm done. I did it. So here's my conclusion. First of all, I actually got paid for drawing shapes. Like, what do you mean it actually worked? Honestly, I'm really glad I decided to act on the stupid idea, because it sure was a confidence boost to know that people are interested in my commissions. Even these absolutely weird ones. Though I think if I did this again, I would take it a bit more slow so I don't burn myself out after a couple days. Or limit the slots that are available altogether, and possibly raise the price. I did make a good amount of money off of this, though I'm pretty sure I overall worked for below minimum wage, which I will not be doing in the future. Now the big question. Did I suddenly gain Twitter fame and over 30,000 followers like Oz? No. No, I did not. I think Oz got very lucky to get so much attention for their random commission posts, so this isn't something easily replicated. Plus I think their drawings were a lot more quote-unquote scandalous than mine, in a sense that people would probably ask themselves why anyone would pay $10 for a line on a canvas, whereas my shapes could almost be logo commissions and thus aren't questioned as much. Anyways, I've been talking for way too long and my Dropbox folder is filled with shapes, so that's it for today. Let me know which shapes were your favorites. Will out.